Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Thanks so much for tuning in for this video. So today, on this video, I'm going to be doing an oil pan gasket on a first generation Honda CRV. This one here is a 99 to 2001. This information is the same for 97 through 2001. So stay tuned. I'll show you the tools you'll need and the parts you'll need so that you can do this job yourself and do this right at home in your garage with a few tools and a little bit of know-how. Here we go. So I've got the CRV on the lift now. You can see how it's been leaking. Some of this may have been from the cam seals, which we put in the previous video. If you need to see how to do the cam seals, you can check it out up here in this top right hand corner. But come back and finish watching this. So first thing we got to do is we got to get this piece out of the under tray here, get it out of the way, and then we got to undo the exhaust. We're just going to take the little B pipe off here, and then we'll have to take off like the dust plate here off the torque converter, and then we'll be able to get access to the oil pan. So to get this piece off, you just have to take off these little pieces here. Normally they got a little 10 millimeter push in, and then they got like a 12 millimeter here and here, and then usually a couple 10 millimeters like here, here, here. You get the picture. There's a couple of other little pieces that may push in here. These are not the original pieces here. These actually just push in, so, but they would have a 10 millimeter. There's also got one right up here. So once we get this out of the way, it'll give us access to get to this B pipe a little bit better, and it'll give us more access to the oil pan. All right, so now we've got the splash guard off here, so we can get to these exhaust nuts here. It's 14, 14, and a 14. So it's just 3 14s. I do recommend putting some penetrating oil in there. It does help. And then
He's been off recently though.
Just got these two 12s right here. Got Rodney over here from $3 Garage. This is actually his CRV, so he's just helping out with it. So he's already got the spring bolts out on the exhaust here. So those are just these here, and it's got a 14 on the back and a 12 nut. So once you take those off, then you'll be able to get this off. I think right now he's just taking off the dust plate from the torque converter. It's just a couple 10 millimeter bolts and 117 there on the front. All right, so now we've got the exhaust pipe out of the way. We've drained the oil, so make sure you drain your oil because you'll want to do that before you drop the oil pan. And then now we've already got this dust plate out of the way here. And so now all we got to do is pull the row of 10 millimeter bolts out all the way around it, and we'll be able to pull this oil pan down. He had already replaced this gasket with a regular Felpro gasket, and it was still leaking and it split. See how it split? That's why I recommend not using a regular Felpro gasket. However, I do recommend using a Felpro gasket, and it's this one. This one is a rigid gasket, same part number as the regular one, except this one has a T on the end. That one has it's either a R or S on the end, I don't really know. But if you go to your parts store, tell them you want the one with the T on the end. This one right here is awesome. Never fails, reusable. So yeah, awesome. And also he had replaced this gasket. Now if your gasket is stuck on your oil pan, I'll post a link up in the right hand corner showing how I remove this gasket if it's stuck to the oil pan. If you don't know, a lot of these are stuck and they're really hard to get off and they make a mess. But if you follow this method up here, it's awesome. So now we're just cleaning the block surface here, and then we'll get a new oil pan gasket on. All right, so you see how this one stays rigid? This one don't. It's a limp noodle. This is what you want to be, and this is what your wife don't want you to be. Oh boy. All right, so the gasket comes with a tube of silicone as well as these little studs that hold it up to the oil pan or to the block if you're installing it. I don't ever use the little studs, silicone. I've got a bunch of these around, so instead of opening one, I'm just going to use this one that's already open. And the side that goes towards the block is the side that has these little spots on it like this. So that's the little spots where you'll put a little bit of silicone, and on the flip side, it doesn't have anywhere like that. And this is the side that goes towards the oil pan. So no silicone is required where it mates to the oil pan itself. So we'll just take a little bit of silicone and put in these spots right here. I'm gonna put a little more than that, but just showing you there. It's right here. And there's a spot like right here, and a spot right there. So I'm gonna do that real quick. All right, so you can see I've put a little bit on here. It's not a whole lot. It's just in those 4 spots. That's all we need. And now, stick it on. I think it goes like that right there. Nope, it goes all the way around. Yeah. All right, and then stick our oil pan on. So once you get it up here, then you can just start a nut right here on the front. And a nut right here on the back. Whew. Can't really get to it with this one hand. All right, you can let it go. So now we got a nut on the front and a nut on the back. It stays in place, and now we can put the rest of our bolts in and tighten them down. Great thing about this gasket, you don't really have to worry about torquing it. If you want to torque them, it's 7.8 foot-pounds. I just always snug them down with my little electric impact, and they've never given me a problem. They don't swell out and crack like that other one. How I was showing you how it cracked. That's because it's over torqued. Whoops. But you don't have to worry about that with this one. This gasket is reusable too, so if you ever have to pull the oil pan off for any other reason, you can reuse this gasket. All right, so now I'm just going to put it on time lapse while Rodney installs everything back on the bottom of the CRV. So right now he's putting on the dust shield for the torque converter, put the exhaust on, and then finally he'll put on the splash guard. All right, so last thing we're going to do is put oil back in it, and then we'll be ready to go. You gonna get another scene?
Want to shut this?
Like a kitten. Like a kitty cat. Meow. All right, guys, there you have it. So hopefully after watching this video, you could successfully change your oil pan gasket on your CRV. Again, I do highly recommend the Felpro Permatex PermaDry oil pan gasket. It does work really great, and I've never had one leak after I've installed it. So, you know, take that for what it's worth. I've had plenty of stock style gaskets leak after installing them, even after following the OEM torque specs, putting silicone on them, doing all that good stuff, you know, and they still leak. So, again, I've never had one of these Permatex PermaDry oil pan gaskets leak. So, I highly recommend them. And I always try to get the customer to install those whenever they're here and they're needing an oil pan gasket. It's a little extra money, but it saves you tons of headache down the road. And once you purchase 2 regular gaskets, you're already over the cost of the PermaDry. So, but yeah, thanks for sticking out and watching this video. Hope to see you on another video. Be sure to check out the playlist on first generation CRVs. I've got several videos on different things, DIY, repair. You know, I'm not even a trained professional, but I've been working on these Hondas doing DIY stuff for a while because that's the only thing I could afford. So hopefully, you know, my techniques and methods are something that you can relate to, and the tools that I use will be something that you have. So I do have a few specialty tools, but not many. All right. So anyways, thanks for tuning in. Hope you stick around and watch a few more videos and hit the subscribe button, and you can comment, let me know what you think about it. And if you have one of these, you can leave your comment below and sing the good praises of how well this gasket works so that everyone else knows that it's the truth. See you on another one. Peace.